There is a national 9/11 museum at the former site of the World Trade Center. Maybe you visited. I know it's somewhere I want to go badly. And we know there are thousands and thousands of people who go there every year. But there's another museum, this one run by survivors as well as first responders and victims' family members.
Colleen Marshall shows us what the Tribute Museum stands for and what went into creating this special place.
My brother disappeared on September 11th, and by telling that story, as uncomfortable it may be for me, was more important that he never disappear.
His brother died.
As we're coming over one of those two bridges, what we saw in front of us was a wall of a cloud, that very light gray, powdery cloud. That was all of the smoke and the pulverized debris from the building.
He risked his own life.
What I didn't realize at that moment was that I was about to have a front row seat to the worst attack on U.S. soil.
She was an eyewitness to devastation. All of them are volunteers at the 9/11 Tribute Museum. It's not the massive National Museum that sits at the World Trade Center site. It's a small museum a few blocks away, started by the 9/11 Families, Widows, and Victims Association. It's staffed by survivors, by family members, first responders, and people like Joan Mastropolo, a board member who lived through America's worst day. She and her husband lived in the shadow of the World Trade Center.
And especially when I talk to younger guests who come on my tour, I always say to them, I was scared to come back, but I was more scared not to come back, because not to come back would have meant that I gave in to the people that did this to us.
Joan tells her own story and shares what happened to others that dreadful day.
He's the only member of the band of dads that actually found his son's body.
The volunteers give gallery and neighborhood walking tours to make sure we never forget and never give up hope.
Not all of the buildings have been built yet. People should know what happened here. It's important to understand what we saw, what we experienced, what we lived through during that time.
And what you lost.
And what we lost.